Hey there, let's talk strategy. A lot of us have a favorite business tool, kind of like a go-to hammer in our toolbox. But what if I told you that relying on just that one tool could be a huge mistake? Today, we're diving into why the best decisions actually come from using a whole set of tools together. I mean, think about it for a second. A big decision lands on your desk. What's your first move? Do you instinctively reach for a SWOT analysis? It's okay. A lot of us do. It's a classic for a reason. But that habit? Well, it might be holding you back way more than you think.
Because here's the thing, relying on just one tool, even a fantastic one like SWOT, is kind of like trying to build a whole house with just a screwdriver. You're just gonna miss some crucial stuff. So in this breakdown, we're gonna show you exactly how to combine these tools to get that full 3D picture you absolutely need to win.
All right, here's what we've got on tap. We'll kick things off with why going solo with one tool is a no-go. Then we'll get into some awesome power pairs for external analysis, growth strategy, and making change happen. We'll wrap it all up with a complete workflow and, of course, your key takeaways.
Okay, first up, one tool is not enough. And this is the core idea, right? No single strategy tool is a silver bullet. They're just not. Each one was built to do a very specific job. So when you lean on just one, you're creating these huge, dangerous blind spots. It's like you're trying to navigate a 3D world with a 2D map. You're going to crash.
And the fix for this? It's something we can call strategic tool integration. Basically, it's the practice of combining multiple tools to cover each other's weaknesses. The real magic, you see, isn't in any one tool. It's in the synergy, how they work together to give you a view that's so much more robust and multidimensional. All right, let's get practical. Time to look at our first set of power pairs for external analysis. This is all about getting a crystal clear understanding of the world outside your company's walls. So, let's talk about two absolute classics, SWOT and pest analysis. Now, SWOT is great, right? It gives you that quick high-level snapshot. But let's be honest, when you get to the opportunities and threats boxes, it can feel a little flimsy, a bit vague. That is exactly where pest analysis comes in to save the day. It makes you dig deep into the specifics, the political, economic, social, and technological forces that are really shaping your environment.
And the best part? The way they work together is so simple. You just start with your pest analysis to really get into the weeds of the external world. Then you take all those juicy, detailed findings, a new government regulation, a shift in consumer behavior, some new tech, and you feed them directly into the opportunities and threats sections of your SWOT. All of a sudden, your SWOT isn't just a basic outline anymore. It's a powerful, evidence-backed roadmap.
Okay, next power couple. We've got Porter's 5 Forces and, yep, our old friend SWOT again. See, Porter's 5 Forces is absolutely killer for understanding the rules of the game in your industry, the competitive pressures. But here's its big limitation. It's all external. It tells you about the game, but it tells you nothing about your team. It doesn't look at your company's specific ability to play. And that's where SWOT comes back in. It bridges that gap, connecting those big industry threats directly to your company's unique strengths and weaknesses.
All right, so we've got a handle on our environment. Now what? Let's talk about growth. We're shifting gears from just understanding the world to actually making our next big move.
And I really love this next pairing. Ansoff's matrix is fantastic. It literally shows you the what. What are your possible paths for growth? Market development, new products, the whole shebang. It lays out the map. But then SWOT comes in as the crucial reality check. It asks the tough questions. Okay, that path looks great, but do we actually have the strengths to pull it off? Do we have the R&D, the cash, the team? So Ansoff shows you the options, but SWOT tells you if you're truly ready to take them.
This next combo, the Boston Matrix and the Ansoff Matrix, is a dream team for product strategy. Here's a simple way to think about it. The Boston Matrix is the diagnosis. It takes a look at your current products and tells you what you've got, your stars, your cash cows, your question marks. Then the Ansoff Matrix is the prescription. It tells you what to do about it. It gives you the strategy for each of those categories. Let's make that real for a second. Imagine your Boston Matrix flogs a product as a question mark. It's in a high-growth market, but you just don't have much market share. The big question is, what now? Well, Ansoff gives you clear options to think through. Do we push this into new markets? That's market development. Or do we pour money into R&D to make the product better? That's product development. See, it directly connects the diagnosis to the potential cures. Okay, for our last pairing, we're tackling what is often the hardest part of any strategy, actually making change happen. And this is where it's so important to balance the hard numbers with with the people.
On one hand, you have something like a decision tree. It's all quantitative. It's brilliant for crunching the numbers and telling you what's the most profitable path. But it has a massive blind spot. It knows nothing about culture, morale, or fear of change. That's where force field analysis comes in. It's qualitative. It makes you list out the pros and cons from a human perspective. What forces are driving this change forward, and what restraining forces, like employee resistance, are holding it back? Put them together and you don't just get a profitable plan, you get a practical one.
So we've seen these power pairs in action. But how does it all fit together into one big picture? Let's zoom out now and look at the complete strategic workflow. And really, it boils down to these 3 stages. It's a super logical flow. Step 1 is always strategic analysis. That's the where are we now question. And it's where you use tools like SWOT, PEST, and Porters. Once you know where you are, then you can move to step 2, strategic choice. What should we pursue? Here's where ANSOF, decision trees, and force field analysis come into play. And finally, step 3 is strategic implementation. How do we actually do this? That's your business plans and change management. It's a clear, simple path. Analyze, choose, then act.
Okay, that was a lot, I know. So let's wrap this up and boil it all down to the key takeaways you can use to upgrade your own strategic thinking.
So, here are your actionable recommendations. For a really solid external analysis, use PEST and SWOT together. For product strategy, combine the Boston and ANSOF matrices. When you're planning a big change, pair force field analysis with your decision trees. And please, remember this last one. These tools are amazing, but they are not a replacement for your own experience and real-time data. They're here to make your judgment better, not to replace it.
Because at the end of the day, that's the whole goal, right? The point of all this isn't just to generate more charts and data. The goal is to make decisions that aren't just data-driven, but are also practical and totally aligned with reality.
So I'll leave you with a final thought to chew on. Now that you've seen how these tools can work together, which combination are you going to use first to get a more complete picture for your next big decision?